Hey y'all, welcome back to MovementLink. So today we have another just 10-minute-ish follow along warm-up yoga-ish video for you. So create some space, go ahead and follow along. Today we're going to focus on really full body like we always do, but with a bias on the wrists. So before we jump in, let's just put a little context behind it. A lot of issues that we have in the wrist stem from issues that we have in the shoulder. So just like stuff we talk about all the time, making sure that we brace correctly, but in particular during this warm-up and in everything else we're doing, we're going to want to get that shoulder stable by getting it towards the back of the socket and creating that external torque in there, just like we would in a push-up. So as we're doing these exercises and these warm-ups, pay extra close attention to the shoulder, because ultimately that's what's going to help determine how much pressure and strain that we're getting in those wrists. So we're just going to start seated. We're just going to interlock your fingers and we're just going to do some wrist rotations here for a little bit. So we'll just kind of go around in circles, almost you're doing like a figure 8 move. And as we're here, just go ahead and check in on those shoulders. I just caught myself in a bad position. So let's reverse and do the opposite of what you were doing before. Just rotating those wrists around. All right. Then let's just go ahead and get on all fours. We're going to get your hands just like we would in a push-up position. I'm going to twist my hands into the ground so my elbow pits are forward, and we're just going to move those shoulder blades around. So we're not doing cat-cow here yet. We'll do that in a second. We're keeping that back nice and still, just trying to get the shoulder blades to move around. Because we're focusing on the wrist, I'm really focusing on every one of my fingers staying pressed into the ground with weight through my fingers and the palm of my hand. Okay, now let's go into some cat and cows. So let's extend everything up as you drop your shoulders down, and then we're going to round everything and tuck everything as you push away. As we do this again, stay focused on even weight through your fingertips in the palm of your hand, along with creating that screwing motion into the ground through your hands. Okay, now we're just going to turn your hands around backwards. Same thing, let's get those shoulders back. We're just going to lean back and then go forward. We're not forcing anything. We're just taking it to that end range and then coming out. Taking it to that end range, coming out. Just over and over again here. Now we're going to hit different angles. So we'll take it to the end range to a side, and then you'll just kind of trace a semicircle as you come up the other side and go back and forth from side to side here. Okay, we'll go to the other side. So flip the hands around, twist around, and we're going to lean into it and then come back off. So leaning in, and again, as we're leaning in, keep those fingertips nice and engaged on the ground, but don't let the palms come up. Keep that nice stable shoulder position and the rotation through the shoulder. Now lean in at a side, at an angle, and let's do almost a semicircle as we lean forward and wrap around it here. All right, so let's go ahead and get up. We'll shake the hands out a little bit. We'll go do some arm swings. We'll move into some more general stuff as we go, as we continue on with the warm-up and focusing on the wrists a little bit. So let's go up and back. As we go up, the palm should be facing back behind us. As we go back, the palm should be facing back behind us again. Belly button drawn in, butt tight. And let's get some spine rotations in here. As I rotate to this side, I like to straighten that leg out. That mimics more of what a golf swing or a baseball or softball swing would look like. Helps me get into the hips a little bit more. So now let's bend over, and we're actually going to mimic those swings a little bit more. So the direction I go, that leg straightens. As I go the other direction, that leg straightens. Trying to keep my weight even on my feet. All right, then we're going to squat down. We're going to wiggle around here. So we're going to do everything that you've heard we're not supposed to do in a squat. We're going to let our knees cave in. We're going to let them go way, way out. You can push them out with your forearms here. You can lean forward. We can round the back. We can extend the back. So even though these aren't positions we want to spend a lot of time in, these are positions we need to be able to get to just in case we happen to accidentally get to them. So now let's put your hands on your ankles, stick your hips up in the air, draw your belly button in. We're just going to wiggle around here. Now feel your feet stay nice and flat on the floor, and we're going to squat down in a really good squat position now. So I'm focusing on drawing my belly button in, staying even, trying to keep my ankles from caving in. So I'm thinking about keeping my ankles stacked right on top of everything, palms up, hands high, and let's go ahead and stand up from there. So we're going to do that a few times. Squat down. Now what I want you to do is let's get down on all fours. Okay, and now we're going to stand up just like we would if we were an infant. We like to call these infant squats. If you notice and you watch infants move around, they deadlift and squat, and they move really, really well. We used to be able to do that same thing too, and then we lost the ability as we sat more. So we'll just kind of mimic that. We're on the ground. We're just going to take a step, focusing on keeping that foot flat on the floor. Get that next foot flat on the floor. We're going to come here in the bottom of a squat. We're going to turn those palms up because that's what that shoulder position looks like in the push-up. We're going to reach up high, and then we're going to stand up with it. We're just going to do that a couple more times. So let's go down from all fours. We'll go with the other leg now. So left foot flat, right foot flat, squat position, palms up, arms straight, reach up as high as you can, battle for it, and then come back up. All right, so let's come back down on the ground again. We're going to twist into the ground. We'll get into our push-up plank position here. And then we're going to go right foot next to our right hand. We'll keep that back leg straight and off the ground, and we'll wiggle around. So I'm going to face as far to the left as I can, as far to the right as I can. I'm squeezing that left butt cheek, drawing the belly button in, sending the hip down and wiggling around. Then I'm going to drop the knee to the ground. I can go on the top of that foot, and I'm just going to come up again. Palms back, sticking my arm up, keeping that butt tight as I shove my hips down. Then I'm going to straighten that leg out, shove the hips down, straighten it out, shove the hips down, straighten it out. But we'll go to the other side. So push-up plank, left foot next to the left hand. We'll keep the back leg straight and off the ground. I'm going to rotate as far to my right as I can, as far to the left as I can. I'm just going to go back and forth there. That focus is on this shoulder, stays nice and tight. This looks just like what a push-up position would look like. So even though we're doing things and we can focus on our core and that trailing hip and the flex of the other hip, we can still warm the wrists up in these positions as long as we're thinking about this stuff. Then we're going to put the knee down, top of the foot. We're going to come up here. We're squeezing that butt, arms high. And then we're going to straighten that leg, keep that butt tight, belly button drawn in, shove your hips down, come up, shove your hips down, come up, shove your hips down, come up. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get on all fours, and we're going to hover your knees up off the ground. Belly button drawn in, knee touches the middle of your forearm, and let's just go back and forth, keeping those knees hovered. Now this part's going to start to burn. Shoulders are going to get tired. Keep those knees hovered. Lift one leg up and then bring it back down. So my leg is bent, but my hips don't turn at all. I'm just alternating feet here. Not picking up my legs super high. I'm just trying to imagine my quad getting parallel with my body here. Okay, so now take your left foot, go under you. We're going to pick your right hand up. We're just going to rotate that hand up and over as you rotate. I'm flat on both feet, and I stick my hips up high. That bottom arm is rotated in the ground just like a push-up, and I'm just going to reach back. And then we're going to go to the other side. So back to the all four position. Now the right foot goes under, left hand comes up, feet go flat on the floor, shove the hips up high, reach back. All right, and then we're going to come down. Let's go ahead and do 3 push-ups. You can do these on your knees if you need. Then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna finish it off here with 3 neutral grip or anatomical push-ups. They're called a few different things, but I'm gonna turn my hands around. So what this does is it will open your eyes up to if you have the right wrist range of motion here, but also if you're doing your push-ups in the right way. And if you're someone who tends to do push-ups where those forearms come back, so my hands are a little too far out, so my elbow doesn't stay over my wrists, then this anatomical push-up is gonna be a little eye-opening for you. So what we're gonna do is just turn your hands backwards here. And we're just gonna get 3 reps here. So set your shoulders. We're gonna send everything forward and down, just like we would in a regular push-up. We can do those on our knees if we want. But let's finish today, and I'll let you finish on your own here, but let's finish today just playing around with that, getting a few reps. Let's get 3 sets of 3 in that reverse grip. Do a set of 3 and then kind of shake it out and think about it a little bit. And then you might want to work in some regular push-ups to see, are we going straight down or are we sending everything a little bit forward so we can keep those elbows right on top of the wrists. All right, enjoy. See y'all soon.